You can come back. Okay. So, hello, and we are recording this meeting probably with your consent. Uh, we are going to be discussing a set of short stories, and we will begin with the Romance of a Busy Broker by O. Henry. Okay, now as you know, O. Henry is one of the most prominent writers of short stories in the English language, and what has characterized him basically is the way that he has popularized this whole idea of the surprise ending, or the twist in the ending that has come to characterize most of his stories. So from that point of view, often readers have been anticipating the short stories of O. Henry, and by the time they come to the end of it, they're expecting that there is going to be a twist. Okay, and no matter how much you come prepared, the ending always generally surprises you. Okay, you will be able to bring about, recall a number of these examples. So I'm not going into the details of that. Now, the Romance of a Busy Broker is a very interesting story, which for a long time makes the readers wonder where the story is going. Okay, and it takes place over the course of an afternoon. Okay, I mean, it has the duration of an entire day, actually, right from the morning all the way up to the evening. And the mundane processes that a human being takes up in the course of his work in a day. Okay, and when I say broker, he's a share trader. Okay, so share trading and the processes of finance, all of these things, and how he interacts with his colleagues, the names that are used in his context, all of these things point towards the pressures that modern life exerts upon the individual, so much so that they might end up forgetting very fundamental aspects of their life. Understand? So the title of the story itself is very interesting because it brings together a number of different elements which somehow don't go together in your mind. Okay, the word romance along with busy broker. Understand? Like broker, I already told you, is share trader. Understand? So when you say broker or share trader and a busy man at that, you somehow do not account for the use of the word romance in association with that. Understand? So you can't imagine a romantic busy broker. Okay, but and the way that the story is presented also, you wonder that where is the romance in this man's life? He seems busy, all right. Okay, so it's a very cozy setup of an office. There is this other co-worker by the name of Pitcher. There is this secretary by the name of Miss Leslie, and there is this man called Harvey. Okay, the broker, the protagonist of the story. So he comes into this office, and Pitcher is extremely surprised to see him there, and he just throws himself into his work. He is busy all through the day, and he is yelling all kinds of orders. And then they have asked for someone to fill in the post of secretary. Okay, so the women have lined up for interviews. They're all well coiffed women and so on. And the man, Mr. Pitcher, comes and tells him that look, all the people are here for the interview. One woman has come, and he's like, why do I want to interview somebody? He's like, for the post of secretary. He's like, why do we need another secretary? Miss Leslie is right there, and she can have the job as long as she wants. So I don't want another secretary. Please send everybody back. Tell them not to come back either. Understand? And when Pitcher tells this to Leslie, she's like, I will fill in for the time till we get another person. And she looks rather anxiously towards Harvey, who does not seem to be showing any signs of registering any of this. He has been busy all through. Understand? And those mundane processes of office work, paperwork, accounting, the way that work has to be done, all of these things are listed in very painful, mind-numbing detail. You would have noticed that. At the end of the day, towards the end of the day, what he does is that he makes this resolution. He's standing by the window and he says, I have to do it today. If I don't do it right now, I don't know when I'll be able to do it. So he rushes to Miss Leslie and says, we have a small break in the middle, so I'm going to tell you, I really want to marry you. Will you please marry me? and she, her eyes are full of tears, and she's so relieved because, she's like, I'm sure it is the pressure of your work, Harvey, but, we got married yesterday evening in the church by the street corner. And that is where the story comes to an end. Understand? So, what I have understood from the story is more than the contents of the story, because, if you think about it logically, if they got married yesterday evening, he would have gotten up today morning, and, he would have left her side and come to the office, right? So how is it that he did not remember? So all I can say is that probably the pressure of work was so much on him, that possibly these things went amiss. But for me, it is not that side of the story that surprised me or impressed me or anything like that. It was the technique that O. Henry uses. Understand? That is trying to bring about the sense of the day of in the life of a man, and through the use of words to convey the same in such an effective manner is something exceptional. Understand? And to use as minimal characters as is possible and write about it, again, that is very, very admirable. See, one of the characteristics of short stories is that, well, they have to be short. The other is that, they do not use too many characters, because it will be difficult to keep track of all the characters within the confines of a small story. Understand? So what O. Henry has done, and he has done in the past also, is that he has used very minimal characters, and he has, kind of conveyed an entire ecosystem of the life of an individual. Understand? So this aspect of the story is what is the most interesting. And then, you also have to probably factor in the question that was we have been discussing in the past about gender. Understand? Look at the kind of work that the man does. Look at the kind of work that the woman does. Now, generally, secretaries we always imagine are going to be women. That's the way that we have been conditioned to think. But the fact that, the woman is full of anxiety about the fact that this man shows no recognition or no acknowledgement of their marital relationship is very, very interesting. Okay, she's not angry, she's anxious. Okay, this generally reflects the social anxiety that women have within these relationships that they have with men. Understand? This fear of being dropped, or fear of being rejected, or fear of not being acknowledged. Because, often people enter into marital relationships not just for the love aspect of it, but also for the social recognition that it could possibly be bringing. Understand? So she was almost afraid that this man is probably going to backtrack. And, so see, her anxieties are of a different level altogether. What she is thinking about are her life chances, prospects, future, okay, and the loss of connect. Okay, whereas this man, not connection, connect. This man, on the other hand, is so immersed in his work that, he, even when picture brings up the fact that they need a person to replace Miss Leslie, all he says is, why should we want to replace Miss Leslie? She can have the job as long as she likes. So see, in those, even in the fact that, he's extremely busy, all that is true, but he seems to think that that is all that Leslie wants in life. Okay, he has forgotten the fact that he has married her. Now, we don't know whether she volunteered to drop the job, or whether he did not want her to work anymore. And, it was the thing that, he didn't want his wife at the office. We don't know any of these things. But the fact is that, they both entered into an act together, that of marriage. But the minute he turns up at the office, his entire mindset changes. Okay, his concerns change, and he does not seem to share those anxieties. And look at the sense of, maybe it's also, sweet that, he takes some time to come and propose to her. But the fact that he takes some time out of his work, comes rushing, proposes to her, and, thinks that, let me just say this. Okay, he does not make that time or the effort. Okay, I don't mean that he's saying it rudely to her, but the fact is, somehow there is a sense of limitation, okay, in the imagination that this young man Harvey has. And somehow I suppose this is exactly what causes Miss Leslie to feel this anxious also. So while the story seems funny, while it could seem like an amusing episode in somebody's life, the romance of a busy broker is an intensely psychological examination of the way that people, men and women, react to or interact with their social anxieties. Understand? For him, to propose is an act of courage. He gathers up all his courage, like he's going to war and he's proposing. And for her, the acceptance also brings in a sense of relief and security. Okay, so that's why this story, is, I suppose, a very faithful uh, agent, or let's say messenger, of the kind of magic that short stories are capable of weaving within the limited span that is given to them. Okay, do we have any doubts?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, there's one doubt.